Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm your host, Sam Adavi, coming to you from the Lucky Dog House in Brazelton, Georgia, across the street from the famous Road Atlanta Road Course, presented by NH Oil Undercoating. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm Sam Adavi, and this car show is brought to you by NHOU, New Hampshire Oil Undercoating, the fastest, most effective way to add safety and value to your vehicle. Now, normally when we cover a car show, we're usually covering the people who own their cars, who bought their cars built, or even some of them build their cars at home. But we never really give a lot of love to the people who build cars in their shops. So today we're gonna showcase some of the local builders here in Atlanta and show you some of their talents. So let's get started. I'm here with Carmen, and behind me is her 1969 Chevy Camaro. That's got a really cool story behind it because her dad gave this car to her, and then I built it for her and a good friend of mine from high school, Jason, her husband. Carmen, tell us the story behind this Camaro.
In 1969, my aunt bought it. She lived in Florida, and 2 years later, it was taken to Puerto Rico, where my grandfather took over. In '79, my dad went to Puerto Rico and brought it back to the U.S., and he gave it to me and my husband.
But before he gave it to you and your husband, he did a lot of extensive work to it in his garage here in the States, where he took out the engine, went through the whole engine, rebuilt it, put the engine transmission back together. He did a lot of work on this car before he gave it to you guys. Now what the car has is an LS3 480 horse crate motor with a 6-speed behind it, full 12-bolt Moser rear end behind it, along with full suspension, exhaust upgrade, headers, long tubes. We've got the Holley motor mounts on this one as well with the GM controller kit. This thing's making 500 to a little bit more at the wheels because we made more than the 480 that it came with. Sounds sick. Thank you so much for letting us check out your car.
Thank you.
Todd's definitely got the biggest, baddest truck that you can find here in the streets of Atlanta.
So it's a 2017 Ford F450. I've had a lot of trucks over the years. People always coming up behind me and building something bigger, so the inspiration was kind of to do one that just shut everybody down, and that's where the game over inspiration came from. So.
Now, what size lift do you have on this?
It's a Kelderman lift, and it's actually air ride, so it's adjustable from anywhere from 8 inches all the way up to 14 inches.
Now, I saw the extensive work that went through the build process of the chassis on this vehicle. How long did it take for the guys to build this?
Just the suspension alone was about 6 weeks.
That's incredible. And everything under there got painted and a lot of custom fabrication up under there to be able to get this truck up in the air that high and for it to be able to go down the road and be straight down the road and have good road manners.
Correct. All custom Kelderman grills, bumpers, train horn by horn blasters. Got custom center caps on the wheels from Neely Precision, American Force wheels that had those custom powder coated Jenny hitch, trailer hitch in the back.
That's a lot of stuff,
tons of stuff, man.
And he's got a lot of custom paint work on there that was done by Colorworks by Duff. This is Andy next to us. He does awesome work as far as body work, custom paint jobs. So that's gonna be really cool to see maybe in the future show. Now, Greg and I are bringing something back old school. This is from our era. This is where we're used to building and seeing at the Nopi Nationals. This was what, 2004?
2004, 2005, this was your champion.
Best way you said it was, this is the new 57 Chevy back then.
That's right, so the 57 Chevy to our parents, we had a Honda Civic. That's our 57 Chevy.
And you know, back then it was all about flash. We did some stuff under the hood, but when we went this far as making it look good, we didn't care too much about performance. It was all about the bling. This thing won the Best of Show in 2004 at Nopi Nationals.
3, 4, and 5.
Everyone knew Jeff, everybody wanted Jeff's car. This is who we were chasing.
That's it, man. Nopi Nationals, that was our Super Bowl, and people came to our our backyard, so we had turf to defend, but we had pride in our builds. So to have a car, to go to the Nopi Nationals, to place in your class, much less win or win a best of show, come on, man, it didn't get any better than that.
It was absolutely huge. Everybody from all over the country came to this show, and that's why we would take all year long to prep a car, similar to what people do today with SEMA. We were doing it with Nopi Nationals back in the day. Check it out. There's a lot of cool things to see on this Civic. This is like an eye candy for gearheads. I'm loving the driving club here at Road Atlanta. Now, I'm gonna go check out the rest of the facility while you guys check out the break. We'll be right back. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Appalachian Backroads, Virginia is for lovers. Original Parts Group Incorporated, unbeatable quality, price, and in-stock selection for GM restoration and high-performance parts. NH Oil Undercoating Incorporated, NHOU, the official oil-based rust-proofing system. Lokar Performance Products, quality, plain and simple. It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Kevin Ford.
In our LS Classic series, we offer a really nice front serpentine drive setup. If you've got an old muscle car and you want to maintain that look with your modern LS engine, you need to take a look at what we have to offer. We've got complete kits from AC, alternator, power steering, to alternator only, AC, and power steering, however you want to run it. We've got a kit that'll work for you. These are bolt-on. They utilize a factory tensioner, so you know the belt's at the right tension. If you wanted to start out with alternator only and then add something later, you don't have to start over. We can help you out and get you the parts that you need to upgrade that kit. Take a look at lokar.com and look at our whole lineup of LS Classic parts.
I'm here with Jerry Peters, and we're in his personal garage called the Doghouse. Now, Jerry Peters is someone special to me because back in the day, he actually sponsored me for the first time when I was drag racing my right-hand drive Supra, and we did him a justice by winning the championship that year. So thank you very much, Jerry, for doing that for me. I really appreciate that.
We like to think of it as the missing link between a 356 and a 911. Erwin Comita was the designer of the 356 and the Volkswagen, and then also worked on the 911. And he built a car like this in 1953, and it was used as a test mule, and then it was crushed. So I wanted to recreate that look and that feel. People ask me what year it is. I said it's kind of like the Johnny Cash Cadillac. You know, it's a lot of different years and different parts from different cars. It drives sensational, looks good. Mostly made out of aluminum. Got a carbon fiber roof on it, and a lot of custom features.
It's got a full fire suppression system, and the release for the suppression system is in the door jamb of the driver's side.
You know, it's been fun. The most important thing is got a laser jammer and radar jammer in it, so I can drive it.
I'm here with Jarrett, good friend of mine. Him and his family own a collision center in Lilburn, Georgia, going over 30 years now. They do collision work, but they also do a lot of ceramic coating in their facility, and we'll talk about that later. With me, he has brought his personal 2017 BMW M4, and this thing looks really good. Tell us about what you got done to it.
Yeah, it turned out really well. So this has a full front-end paint protection film, which is going to protect from rock chips. Everything on the car pretty much is also ceramic coated. Wheels, calipers, paint, interior, all the leather, everything on it. So it turned out really nice.
Now for you guys who are tracking your car, it's important to get the clear film on the front and use ceramic coat the film as well.
That's correct. So sometimes a PPF can get tacky and sticky. It can be hard to wash. But after it's coated, nothing sticks to it. It's super hydrophobic and much easier to maintain.
There's a kit NHOU sells for very affordable, under $150, that has everything in that kit for you to be able to do your own ceramic coating at home. And don't you have to let the car sit for a couple days after you're done before you take it out?
Before you wash it, you want to ideally wait about 2 weeks before you wash the car with soap. And the cure time on most coatings is going to be about 12 hours. So if it were to get wet within that 12 hours, it's not going to be the end of the world. Just make sure you dry it off and don't let water bake.
I'm here with Case, very talented local car builder. Behind me is his father's 1993 Nissan 300ZX, otherwise known as Fairlady Z. Now this is a convertible, and you're right, it's got twin turbos. This thing never came twin turbos from the factory, did it?
Not the Nissan convertibles, no.
Now what kind of turbos do you have on this?
Z1 525s.
And what kind of horsepower are you making?
About 500. It was automatic originally, now it's 5-speed manual.
And what kind of parts go into a car like this to make 500 reliable horsepower to the wheels?
Upgraded turbos, bigger intercoolers, dual intakes, bigger injectors.
And you can tell by looking up underneath the front of the car, you can see the intercooler, you can see the both blow-off valves. He's even got a front camera on this, something you're seeing in newer exotic cars, so that when you roll up to a parking spot, you're not going to destroy your car. Now tell us the story behind this car.
This was a buddy's car that he bought because I had been driving Zs and he was wanting him one, and we found this one with a broken convertible top, and the engine was bad in it, and we wound up twin turbo swapping it for him, and he couldn't keep up with it, so I wound up keeping it in my basement. My dad decided he wanted it, so we fixed it up and made it what it is today.
Well, you guys did an awesome job. It is absolutely beautiful. Considering the work that's been done on this, look how good it looks, and he built it for his father, 500 wheel horsepower. That's really healthy. Now this is what I call a garage. Talk about a man cave. I would definitely live here if I was single. So while we go to a commercial break, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my sleeping bag and sleep right here next to this Porsche. Lots of cool things to do here at the driving club at Road Atlanta, like playing chess with your daughter. Now let's go back to the show and check out some more cool cars. I'm here with Brandon, and he is a very talented metal fabricator. These guys build cars out of a place called Metal Union right here in Lilburn, Georgia. They build high-end, all-steel hot rods for a lot of guys here locally in Atlanta.
So this started out as a 36 Ford two-door sedan. We chopped it up, we cut it, it's about 3/4 scale, and we handmade the whole chassis and the whole body out of steel in-house. So we did all the design work, all the fabrication, all the layout in-house. It's taken us about 10 years to collect all of our own sheet metal equipment. It's a lot of old aircraft and military stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it. I love the way you guys did the interior with the holes in the metal and everything. The leather looks really cool, along with that wooden deck in the back.
We tried to keep a retro feel on it, so there's no chrome, everything's just bare nickel, so it's tarnishing over the years. It's all just bare brass and copper, so it's all just getting that really old rustic feel. That's also why we went with the distressed leather.
Now, it did not look like this before, because you said it had a 500 cubic inch motor in it with a radiator in the back?
Home built by somebody else, and they had set it up kind of differently, so we initially got to just do some mechanical on it, and as you know, it just snowballs from there.
I'm here with Chaz Sidney. He brought us a 39 two-door sedan Ford. This thing is absolutely beautiful. You guys may know him from Atlanta Motor Speedway because he heads the Motorama show that's been going on its 7th year now. Tell us about the car.
The car is a 39 standard. It's a run a flathead. It's a 286 3/4 race flathead, and running 3 deuces and dual exhaust. Of course, I'm running open pipes on the car. It's a lot of fun doing that, and it's a T5 transmission. I run down the road at 70 miles an hour at 1900 RPM. It's a great car.
And that's pretty cool to be able to have an old school car like this with new school powertrain to where you can enjoy like a modern car. That's what it's all about. Now tell us about Motorama.
Well, Motorama is this, we're doing it in October this year because of the situation going on in the world today. Next year we're back to April in 2021. But it's a great show. It's a good family show. It's a car show, swap meet. We bring in big rigs, vintage trailers, a huge manufacturer's Midway, biggest one in the South, a swap meet. We let the guys, the participants, take their cars and ride on the high banks of the Speedway, which is an unusual thing. Last year we had 1,500 cars, 18,000 spectators, looking for a great event this year.
I'm here with a couple of good friends of mine, Brian and Edwin. They own Victory Motorsports here in the Southeast. They build Supras, a lot of turbo cars. They got a BMW next to us that they brought with a 1JZ in it. Tell the people about the BMW, Edwin.
So we have a E30 wagon imported freight from Germany. It's got a 1J in it, Borgwarner S257 EFR. It's running around 20 pounds of boost, making 500 horsepower, fully reliable for him to drive all day long and beat on it on a full standalone link system. So it's just fun to drive around and have all day long.
And you know what? It's reliable. It's got a Super engine in it. 500 horsepower to the wheels is really, really healthy. Tell us about the Super next to us. This is Brian's car?
Brian's personal car. It's fully, what used to be have a 1UZ, but we had a little complication, so we had to put a 2J in it. Fully built on a link system as well. It's putting down 812 horsepower at 26 pounds of boost on ethanol. Fully functional, drives it every day like a normal car.
That's very impressive, Brian. Now, I've seen Brian growing up, his ability to build cars, his turbocharging skills. These guys really know what they're doing. This used to have a 1UZ V8 in it. Now it's got a 2JZ, making almost 1,000 horsepower at the flywheel. That's very impressive. So you guys want some good, reliable horsepower? Make sure to check out Victory Motorsports. Every time I go to a car show, I love it when Joseph and Pablo are here from AF7 Barbecue. That means there's gonna be some awesome food at that show. Stay tuned, we're gonna be back with more Lokar Car Show right after these messages. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Spearhead Trails, get out and explore. H&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight. Brothers Truck Parts, #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck parts. Stage 8, the world's best locking fasteners. Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show. We're here at the Driving Club at Road Atlanta. Now let's go back to the car show and check out the rest of the cars. I'm here with Jim Florak, and he is the owner of Monster Customs right here in the South. They've got 2 locations for any of you guys that want accessories. Tell us a little bit about Monster Customs.
What we do at Monster Customs, Sam, is a lot of accessories. Car stereo, wheels, tires, lift kits, truck accessories, window tint, little of everything to take care of everybody's needs, basically.
And lighting as well, LED lighting.
Yes,
being
lighting is huge in this industry, and we do plenty of that as well.
And tell us about the Ferrari behind us. What'd you bring us today?
Well, we've got the 2014 458 Italia Spider. Fun little car here, top goes back, got about close to 600 horsepower, naturally aspirated V8, and this is just a really fun car for the driver that wants to get out and enjoy it on the weekend. This one is fun. This is something like I've never had before, so it's a good driving experience for sure.
Now, is this something that you're going to be taking across the street to Road Atlanta and tracking once in a while?
You know, I'm new to this thing, so I'm not much of a race car driver, but I'd like to get out there and enjoy it at some point and learn how to really get this thing out there and let it, you know, open up and breathe a little bit.
And there is nothing more fun than that when you have a cool car like this one behind us to go to your local track, get a track day for the weekend or maybe even the day, and go out there and have a little fun. But don't tailgate, because the pebbles on the ground are going to put some etching in the front of your car, so you got to be careful. Well, thank you so much for checking out.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
I'm here with TJ, a good friend of mine. He owns Atlanta Racing Development, ARD Motorsports, and basically they build high-end cars, turbo cars. Behind me is a 2014 Dodge Viper that belongs to TJ, and he is twin-turboed it at his shop. What kind of turbos you guys running?
We have 67 millimeter turbos, precisions.
And what kind of horsepower are you guys making?
1400.
And this thing will put down 950 to 1,000 on 93 octane. They're doing 1,400 on E85. That's why they got to have the PTFE lines. How many pumps we got?
3 450 wheelbarrows.
That's crazy. Now, these guys also run this car on the half-mile track. That's very popular, the half-mile and the mile. What kind of speeds are you guys seeing through the traps?
We did 185 at 12 pounds of boost.
That is really impressive. That's a lot of power to make that kind of speed. Now, these guys are running a Motec fuel injection system, basically the standalone for the computer, and they were able to integrate that Motec into the body control module, making the car not realize that the Motec's even there. So that's pretty cool, because then everything on the car will work and function correctly.
Everything.
And you got full control of the engine. Now, before you guys did do twin turbo on the stock motor, how much power did it handle before it grenaded?
The stock motor is good for about 1,000.
1,000 horsepower. That's really impressive. I'm here with Jamil, and he's a good friend of mine, longtime racer buddy of mine. We've drag raced together for 4 years back in the mid-2000s, had a lot of fun doing it. He is the owner of Traffic Jams. They do accessories, they do high-end builds, stereo stuff. All you truck guys, you want to go check out Traffic Jams for sure.
2014 Lamborghini Gallardo, it's an LP 550. This was making 750 to the wheels, VF engineer and supercharger.
Very nice supercharger on this car, very nicely done as well.
Drives like stock.
Yeah.
So it actually drives like a Lamborghini should.
And instead of running a Motec or something, he's able to utilize the factory computer and just reflash it, and that's what gives him that good drivability when driving around town. And when you floor it, all the power is there.
We have a full complete carbon kit on the car. This was all custom made. It's actually a true copper carbon fiber. So it has a copper weave. We end up doing a front spoiler, mirrors, rear spoiler. The sound system has a lot of carbon fiber into it. You know, different wheels on the vehicle. Did a little bit of interior work, changed the colors up.
What kind of wattage are you looking at first as the sound system goes?
So on this system, it's not a big wattage system. This is more of a sound quality build.
Right.
So it has a lot of high-end gear. Power-wise, we're probably looking at about 1,000 watts, but it's true 1,000 power, 1,000 watts, and very high-end sound cue.
Hope you guys liked this episode of Lokar Car Show, brought to you by NHOU. See you next week. That wraps it up here at the Lucky Dog House. Stay tuned for next week's episode of the Lokar Car Show, where we head to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee to the Grand National F100 show, showcasing some of the country's most beautiful Ford trucks.